Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to welcome our esteemed chief guest, Madam Srimati Chandana IAS, District Collector and Magistrate, Hyderabad. Ma'am, on behalf of SOH Foundation and the aspirants present here, we welcome you. The sapling is a token of our respect and gratitude, symbolizing growth, sustainability, and the impact you continue to create, ma'am. Thank you. Once again, a very warm welcome to everyone present here. Today's event, District Collector's Interaction with UPSC Aspirants, is designed to bridge the gap between aspiration and real world governance. It is an opportunity for all of you to gain first hand insights into public administration, leadership, and the realities of civil services. This interaction is not just a session, it is a platform to learn, reflect, and get inspired by someone who is actively shaping governance at the highest level. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed chief guest for today, District Collector and Magistrate of Hyderabad, Madam Srimati Chandana, an outstanding Indian Administrative Officer of the 2010 batch Telangana cadre. Madam truly needs no introduction. However, as a mark of our deep respect and for the benefit of the august gathering here, I would like to take a few moments to present highlights of her remarkable journey and contributions over the past 15 years. An alumna of the prestigious London School of Economics with strong academic grounding in political science, public administration, and environmental economics, she chose public service over a global career, dedicating her life to nation building and grassroots transformation. With over 15 years of exemplary service, she has held several key leadership roles, including Subdivisional Magistrate, Zonal Commissioner at GHMC, District Collector of Narayanpet and Nalgonda, Food Safety Commissioner for Telangana, Director of Ayush, Special Secretary to the Government, Director General of National Academy of Construction, and currently serves as the District Collector and Magistrate of Hyderabad. What truly distinguishes her is her ability to transform governance into innovation-driven and people-centric impact. In the domain of urban development and sustainability, she has promoted recycled plastic infrastructure, converting waste into footpaths, street furniture, and art installations, led lake rejuvenation projects, and developed green public spaces like Panchatantra Park and Mir Alam Park, enabled ISO certified green government buildings, played a key role in major infrastructure projects, including the iconic Durgam Chervu cable bridge and multiple flyovers. She is the visionary behind the India's first pet park in Gachibowli, redefining inclusive urban spaces. Her work in sanitation and public utility innovation is equally pathbreaking. Introduced self-sustaining loo cafes, combining sanitation with revenue generation. Launched mobile she toilets, a first in India, ensuring dignity and access for women. In the area of food security, nutrition, and community welfare, she has installed Feed the Need community refrigerators to prevent food wastage and supply the needy. Promoted millet-based nutrition and sustainable food practices as a state food safety commissioner. Her contributions to healthcare and social well-being include launching T-Consult telemedicine services, connecting rural patients with global medical experts, leading Ayush initiatives promoting holistic healthcare systems, supporting large-scale programs like Project Shakti, benefiting nearly 60,000 girl students with sustainable menstrual health solutions. A strong champion of women empowerment and inclusive livelihoods, she created Arunya, enabling rural women and artisans to directly access markets, supported self-help group women and weavers during pandemic through innovative livelihood models like Ayurvedic mask production, established Samata Canteen run entirely by transgenders and Divyang individuals using recycled materials. Her work in digital governance and citizen engagement is equally remarkable. Introduced QR code-based feedback systems for transparency, launched Prajavani WhatsApp grievance platform, especially for elderly and differently abled citizens. Strengthen governance through digital monitoring tools like Palle Pragati app. In education and youth empowerment, she has bridged the digital divide by introducing coding, app development, and digital learning for government school children, introduced U shaped classroom seating for better learning engagement, launched youth parliament programs to nurture leadership and democratic participation, initiated Senior Sati, connecting youth with senior citizens to address social isolation. She has also led impactful social awareness movements, including Run for a Girl Child, mobilizing thousands to promote gender equality and education. Her excellence in governance has been widely recognized through numerous prestigious awards, including Best District Magistrate Award by the Indian Express Jury, British Council Alumni Award for Social Impact, FICCI FLO Award for Women Empowerment, multiple national awards for governance, innovation, and public service excellence. Fondly regarded as an eco warrior, change maker, and a people's officer, her journey is a powerful example of how governance, when driven with empathy and innovation, can transform lives at scale. She is not just an administrator, but a visionary change maker, an inspiration to youth, entrepreneurs, and all those who aspire to create meaningful impact in society. Ma'am, with great immense respect and admiration, now I request Madam Srimati Harichandana IAS, District Collector and Magistrate Hyderabad, to kindly address the gathering. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Jagdish. And I think the SO team, all of you are all fresh, young faces. And I think all of you, many of you I've been seeing, are thinking about the civil services, whether it's a good option, whether it's not, and whether you should really take the plunge and go ahead, right? How many of you have already given the mains? Anyone? So all of you are still thinking about it. That's great. So all of you are preparing for the prelims. Who have started their preparation in seriousness? You've already joined some institute or planning an attempt, taken an attempt. Okay, few of you. That's great. So all of you are thinking about whether to join this journey or not. And if you ask me, the answer will be absolute yes. You should give 1 or 2 years of your life trying to attempt to get into the civil services, because the journey, as I think Jagdish has told too much about me. But apart from that, also, this job gives you a lot of satisfaction. Ultimately, all of us may think that I want a good salary, I want good perks. You may think these are the trappings, I get my I get a good car, I get a good house, or I get a good job which is respected in the society. These are not the things that should be motivating you, but what should be motivating is, as you get these perks, the responsibilities also will be high, the pressures also will be high. But what is required is dedication from you, that I want to do this not just for myself, but to help others also. Once you have that motivation, you will definitely be very, very successful in going through this journey, because that is what will drive you. It's not that if you think that I'll just get a good gargadi bungalow and all, that is not what should be driving you, because ultimately that charm will fade. That will go away in the first 1 year of you joining. But what will remain is your passion to serve. Despite what you have, despite the problems you're going through, despite the pressures you'll face, there'll be lots of them. But what will happen is the journey will be easier, because you know you're making a difference. You know you're making some change, you're creating an impact. That is what should be driving you. If you think I just want to work for myself, I just want my own benefit, that is good enough. That's a good enough goal to have personally. But it is not a goal which will drive you in the civil services. You can very well do it outside with whatever this is, with whatever you get. You all must be graduates. You all must be you must have completed your graduation to take this exam. So that is enough to pursue your goal if it is just individual growth. But if you think that okay, I can do something, I can do a little bit of difference. Whatever you do in this job, one thing you will do is you will change your life for the better or for the worse. So how responsibly you take that decision is what is going to be your USP in this. And that is something you all need to take the decision right now. When you're preparing, when you're planning your preparation, if this driver is there for you, if you know that I can succeed not just for myself, but I want to do this because I'll be able to help a few others along the way, that will definitely take you through the journey. And that motivation is important because this exam is very tough. It's not easy. It's the toughest exam in the world, as all of you know. It's tough because a lot of you aspire for it, but you leave the journey midway. You do not have the inspiration or the aspiration to continue. So that journey you have to take. Many of you may think also, I had a very good opportunities outside the service. I was in the private sector, but at that time you realize that do I really want to give up such a comfortable life for 1-2 years of preparation? This preparation is intensive. It takes a lot of your time, energy, and you have to be completely dedicated to it. So how do you decide to go for it? So there will be a lot of distractions. You might think, okay, I have a great education, I'll have a great job outside, or I'll try it in 2-3 years. I'll take a break and then attempt. Yeah, there are some people who have done that, but it depends on your personality types. I would always advise to take 2-3 years of your life and say, okay, I'm attempting this with my full thought process and my full energy. And I'll be thoroughly invested in this. After that, you can take a call because your education is always there with you. Your job opportunities outside are also always there. But this exam will not wait for a long time. There are very limited opportunities. So you have to try. And you will never regret it because the journey itself will teach you a lot. Even let's say you don't make it, the exam preparation journey itself teaches you a lot about life. Teaches you not just competition, it teaches you a lot of things about what is going around you, what is going on in the world, because you will be preparing for current affairs, you will be preparing for different subjects which you might have never touched in your study. If you're an engineer, you might have never done sciences or biology or geography or economics or these things. So these are all multifaceted learning will happen. So you will learn how to survive in the world and you will learn to thrive in any job. So that skill you'll get. Don't think that 2 years of my life will be wasted if I don't clear. But if you clear also, after you clear, what do you do? Everyone thinks getting into the service is just making it. It's not. Every day, again, you have to keep on trying to better yourself, keep on trying to serve people, keep on trying to do something which will make an impact. So that is what we all keep trying to do. For me, 16 years of service, I've been trying to do this only. Every turn, whatever, there are some disappointments, there'll be some concepts which will never take off. There'll be some projects which will absolutely fail. But that doesn't stop us from keep on trying. We should keep trying and we should analyze where we've gone wrong with these problems and then move ahead. That is the same with your preparation. That's what the preparation teaches you. There's so much to learn in the world. Can you learn everything which is there? And with the information boom in your hands, all you have to do is keep on reading. Your phones are enough, your tech devices are enough. But that's not the way you need to prepare for the exams. You need to sort out what is the right way. Sometimes joining some institutes will obviously help, but there have been many people who have not gone to institutes and cleared the exam. So it's about right strategy. It's about picking and choosing what you want to read, what should be read, and what is irrelevant. Some of it will not be correct factually, what you hear on the internet and what happens around the world. So, some of it may be fake information. How do you sort it out? How do you get the correct information? That is something you need to, that is where the institutes will help you if you're a total newcomer. But afterwards, you can always, and if you're very good at your subject, you can definitely take up the exam on your own. You don't need to really bank on anything. But all you need to do is find out the right strategy. So you need to get 1-2 months down and sit and think about what is my strategy. What are the subjects I'm going to choose? What am I most comfortable with? Let's say you're an engineering graduate and you decide I'll go and take medicine as your subject. It may work for you if you really have an interest in that subject, if you're really passionate about it. But ideally, you've already covered half of your syllabus in your graduation. So you choose that. That will give you a better strategy of applying for the exam. If you are talking about the mains, there's only one subject for you now. When we had given, it was two subjects for us. So this one subject, what you choose becomes crucial because that is a part of your assessment. And whatever you choose, many people go for common options like economics or public administration, political science, sociology. These are very easy optionals to go with. And these also will help you parallelly again with your general studies. So many people will do that. So you have to choose which is your subject first. And then again sit down and choose what are your strengths. I'm good at geography, I'm good at economics, I'm good at history, I'm good at political science. Yes. So those are your easy subjects. What are your difficult ones? I'm not good at quantitative aptitude, I'm not good at ethics. So these things you need to develop. If you can work out on the negatives that you have at your level, great. If you can't, you have to go for some help. But it's not necessary that you go to institutes and blindly trust them. You should trust yourself first. That is very important. You should know what I am, what am I capable of, what can I improve on. And then that's your starting point. That's where you start off the journey and that's where you move forward. And that's how your prelims goes. Then mains is obviously again it's a subjective paper. So prelims is objective, mains will be subjective. So how will you do that? Again, you have to change your strategy. Civil services is very much, the exam is very much like how you are going to be after you join service, because it's not the subject which takes you through, it's the strategy, like I said again. So if we don't click in something, we try, okay, what next? How can we improve? How can we improvise? What can we do better? So that's what all of you have to try for mains. Mains is a completely different strategy again. You have to think about whether you're good at writing and conveying your thoughts crisply and within the subject, within the lines which are given to you, within the extent of a question. So one page, one answer, and one question. So how do you encapsulate everything into that? So again, you have to strategize. Can I write? You have to practice. What needs to improve? You can form small peer groups with like 4-5 of members, and you can start exchanging ideas. One of you can work on one segment of the work, the other one can work on another one. All of you can share the notes, or all of you can share your questions and answers and how you can analyze somebody else's paper. Then you realize, okay, I have not done well here, so this person has done better. What can I learn? So that is something all of you can do. This again, institutes offer you in the form of test series. So whenever you do this, they will do that. So that also helps in a way. But that's not again needed. You can always go back to previous year's question papers of the subject you have chosen, of the general studies, and then plan. Plan with some 5-6 years of test papers. That'll give you a clear idea of where you stand and how you will perform. Again, you have to practice a lot of writing. Now your reading comes down. You should not read so much. Usually people fail in this stage because they read a lot. They think, in the exam I will write. That doesn't happen. For any of us, does it happen? It'll be there in your head, but you cannot put it down well. So you have to practice. And that's how your mains have to go. Again, when it comes to interview, once you crack the mains, the interview is a very, very personal thing. It will go very differently for you, for you, for you. It will not go in the same fashion. Because the people who are interviewing are different personalities with different people. Their interactions will differ. So how you interact with the interview board matters. But ultimately what will matter is your conviction. The people who are sitting there are no fools. If you think, okay, I can bluff and get away with something, never do that. So if you are sincere about your desire to get into the services, if you're sincere about the willingness to serve, and you are keen to serve anywhere, wherever the opportunity arises in the government, you can be an IAS officer, you can be an IRS officer, you can be a audit and accounts officer, you can be a railway officer, you never know. You can be anywhere. So if you think I can serve in whatever capacity is given, or you have a particular choice, like I say, I only want to be an IAS officer, I want to be an IPS officer, I want to be an IFS officer. You can choose that. But you have to stick to your conviction. You have to, it's not a job for you. It's a calling, it'll be a passion. So you have to say, this is what I want. And if not this, I'm ready to go back to my career. So you have to be convinced yourself. So the first thing I would advise you, all of you, if you're serious about your journey, is now, this may be asked at the interview, but you sit down and write for yourself why you want to join the services. What's your motivation? What's your ultimate goal? 20 years down the lane, where do you want to see yourself? What are the things that you're planning to do? You may never know what you want to do at that particular time. See, for us, most often, whenever the opportunity arises, we do something. When I was in municipal corporation, we tried to do plastic recycling. We did some tiles. We did a lot of efforts in recycling. So that is the opportunity at that point of time, what you have and what you want to do. It's not that I thought before joining services, I'll go and I'll become, I'll do a lot of recycling. I'll do a lot of parks. I'll do greening. I'll do some restoration of lakes. It was never thought of at that point of time, but it was an opportunity given in the job that I was holding. So you use it. And you make that difference with what you have. So that will happen. So tomorrow you say you're an agriculture graduate and you've never worked in the agriculture department. It can happen. Doesn't mean, or you're a doctor and you've never worked in the health department. It will always happen. But what happens is which department or which sector you land up in and how are you going to work there. So it's the drive to work in this, in whatever capacity that you have, which will drive you. You need not think at this preparation stage that I will make this, I will build that, I'll probably build, if you're an engineer, yeah, I'll build some roads or I'll do some IT. You can never know where you land up. But wherever you land up, if you think that whatever are the circumstances, whatever the opportunity is given at that time, if I can work with them and make things better, that's what you should all aspire for. So that is basically the idea of how you go about the exam. You should first write down what you want, and then prelims is a different strategy, mains is a different strategy. Interview again will be personalized. It will be as per your personality. They see you, they see where you come from, what's your background, and what is your education, what hobbies do you have, and all that. And they will relate it to the world around you. So how do you see the world? How do you perceive things? How is your reaction to some issues? Is what they will test you. These are the broad outlines in an interview, but again, it will go very personally. So it depends on how you train yourself as a person. Again, in this, also you can use your friends as anchors. You can talk to each one of them. You can say that you start asking questions and then ask your friends to be a group who will interview you, or you can go for mock interviews. So these all help at different stages. This is basically how the preparation is even today. But if you have any detailed questions about it, I'll take them. And like I said, first get it into all of your heads that this is not an easy job. Don't think that all these trappings which come, one person standing here, one person standing there, these are all perks that I will get. My car downstairs or my office, oh, this office is like this. These are not the perks that you should be thinking about. These come for enabling us to do our work better. If I'm constantly thinking about where's my food going to come from, or how am I going to cook my food, I'll not talk about what is the welfare activities I need to take up. How do I manage my time? So to ease that, we have this. But they're not a blessing again. Sometimes I feel I'm better off cooking things myself because I make it to my liking. But something is kept, I have to eat it. That's also there. So these kind of problems will be there, but these are not the things that you should again aspire for. You should always think, how am I going to serve? How am I going to make things better? You need not be like, you think that I don't need to think about myself, my career, my growth. That's not the way, that's not true at all. You can do both. It's always satisfying when you do something good. Or when you think that, okay, from my efforts, this has happened. It always gives you a sense of satisfaction when you realize that, some action of yours has resulted in some outcome. I'm here. Within my 1 year or 2 years, I have built so many bridges. Building bridges may look like an engineering feat, but they ease traffic, they give comfort to a lot of people. It will probably ease congestion and save a lot of fuel. In the long run, it's good for the economy. So these are the fallouts. These are the fallouts of each and every action that you will take as a civil servant. So that gives you the work satisfaction. Because ultimately, all of your work is not just a job to be had. It's not something which your parents tell you, okay, he's in a successful job, she's in a successful job. Success will come in different forms in different ways for all of you. For some, it may come early. For some, it may come late. But it will always come to people who try. So in whatever you do, you can succeed. You can be a great entrepreneur. There's a friend of mine who prepared for the exams with me. And a very brilliant friend. She graduated from MIT. and had a great career. But she also, like me, decided to take the exam. 5 attempts she gave, she couldn't clear. Today, she's a very successful entrepreneur. I'll probably think, okay, she's earning more than me, right? So, again, you have different parameters of success. So, where you work, where you don't work will always matter. But finally, what you do here, what should drive you, is not just your own satisfaction, but also saying that I am happy when I know that I'm in a job that can get things done, the job which can make a positive impact. Because that is the risk. You have a lot of pressure on your personal life, you will have a lot of pressure on your time, because I don't have weekends. The other night I was awake till almost 4 a.m. So is it worth it for the kind of pay I get? I'll say yes, it is worth it. Why? Because ultimately you are easing someone's life. You're ensuring some systems continue. You're ensuring things are there for the good. Many of you now would have got scholarships or would have had a lot of come through government schools. So if they don't keep running, what happens? If the system doesn't run, what happens? It'll be lawlessness and chaos, right? So somebody has to keep the system running. And that's us. That's all the civil servants that you are trying to be. So even if you just sit and write a file and you ensure some rule is followed or some process is followed, you're ensuring something's going right. And the machinery of the state is not falling into disrepair. It is continuing to deliver, it is continuing to give justice, it's continuing to give good for the people. That is the state ultimately, that is what we are all working for. So that is what all of you need to do as when you think that, okay, I'm going to take up this exam. It may take you to different places across the country. You are never sure about where your cadre is going to be. So it may put you in the farthest corners of the country. So what do? Will you give up? Why should they be called the farthest? I would ask that. Why should they be called the farthest corners? When I was posted, everybody told me my first collectorship was in Narayanpet. How many of you have heard of it? See, few of you. So that's what. So it's a place which is unheard of. Then people will like, where is this place? Why are you going there? But I had the most wonderful time there because I could do a lot of good work there. And even today when I go there, people just keep coming in hundreds to see me. Why should they? It's been almost 6-7 years since I moved out of that place. But that gives you the satisfaction that you've done something for them. They come all the way from there to see me here also. They just come and they say, we've come here to meet you. And some days, till days, they call me and they say, the only collector we remember is you. So these are things not for a matter of self-pride that I'm sharing. I'm sharing that, that's the bond you develop with people you work with. If you do something genuinely good, it always comes back to you. And it always helps you. That is what all of you should be aiming for. If you just think, my father asked me to give the civil services, my mother asked me to give it, so I'm giving it, that is a wrong answer to have for yourself. If you choose this as a job, you can work in the most difficult places. There was no proper school also for my child there. But still we managed. Whatever was there, we could work out. So that's how you need to plan and be ready to live. And that's the best phase of my job also, because that's where I enjoyed doing a lot of work which never happened in that area. I worked with women, and I worked in the most difficult of times, which was COVID. There was nobody, no movement at all. But still, we could build around 12 to 1,000 toilets in that area, which they didn't have. Imagine. And I could work with the agriculture teams. We could introduce a lot of agriculture reforms in that area. That area was earlier known for millet cultivation, but it never took off. Everyone now is cultivating paddy. So again, we had to revive that. So we tried to convince people to go back to that. A lot of women, they have no opportunities, and they can't look for opportunities also, because they have to take care of their homes. They're tied. So how do you create opportunities for them when they don't have any? So that's how you work with women self-help groups, and you make them into different entities. You teach them entrepreneurship. You give them the tools, and they'll thrive and they'll survive. So that is what you do as a civil servant. That's what you do as an officer. And you can do it in various capacities in different fields. So I hope all of you start with the right intention, and definitely that, when you have the right thought process, the inspiration and the energy to do it. There'll be a lot of times when you feel like, I can't do this. This is too much of study, or I'm not doing as well as my friends. My friends are better than me. And for one thing I wanted to tell all of you is, nobody is important or nobody is intelligent enough to say that I'll be the only one who'll crack this exam. There are people from the most toughest circumstances. They have cracked the exam. There's one, I think you must be hearing. Recently, I was hearing about a lady who was abused by her husband. With 2 children, she just left. Just some 9,000 rupees in her pocket. And she cleared the exam. And then there's a friend of mine who was an auto driver. He used to just park his auto under the street lights and study. There is another friend of mine who was working in a rice mill. He was carrying rice bags. He used to sit in between and read. So everyone has different circumstances, and then there will be people like us. You may think, okay, she has studied in all institutions, and then she's come. There will be people like me. There will be people like them. All of them are IAS officers, and we are equal. So this is a great equalizer, this exam, and it determines your effort rather than your intelligence or whatever academic performance you have right now. So your efforts matter, your strategies matter, and your thought process that I want to succeed, I want to do this, and this is how I want to serve is what matters. Your passion, your drive, and your energy. That's ultimately what drives you to this exam. So I hope all of you take up this challenge and do it. If you still think it's not in me, it's absolutely fine. The world is open. There should be all kinds of people, and all kinds of professions are available in this world. So there's nothing called being shy about not cracking the exam, or feeling bad that, oh, I'm lesser because I didn't clear this exam. Like I said, my friend now is doing much, much better than me. What in terms of earning, or in terms of doing something? She's created a company. She's done well. She's providing a lot of employment to a lot of people. So she's doing it in her own way. I'm doing it in my way. So this is the path I chose, and this is the path all of you will choose if you want to do the exam. So I wish you all the very best, and I hope our collectorate today inspires you to take up this exam further, and do not just this, but whatever you can to help others around you, because we grow as a society. None of us grow individually. If we are here today, if you are sitting here with your graduate degrees, it's because somebody somewhere has given a lot back to the society they've been born in. So that's what we all have to think of. If someone did not think of creating public schools or creating good educational institutions, we wouldn't be here. Somebody wouldn't think of giving you good health care. All of us would be battling diseases and not hale and hearty here, right? So these are things someone somewhere has done it for the good of the society, and we're all born here. We're all born Indians. We're all born in this state. We all have the obligation to give back to the society. That what they have made us, we have to also contribute to make it better. So you can do it anyways. You can do it as an NGO. You can do it as a professional in any capacity that you choose, or you can choose to be an IAS officer. IAS officers have more impact. The civil services itself gives you a lot more opportunities to do in all the jobs that you take up. So that is the advantage of taking this exam. So I hope all of you think on it and do this. I'll be happy to take questions from you for a while, and then afterwards you have the collectorate.
Ma'am, a very good afternoon, ma'am. Myself, Asha Sai. I'm from Warangal, basically. Thank you for making Hyderabad a better place to live, ma'am. Not only for humans, but for all species which are present here. And basically, one project of you inspired me very much, where you turned out the used tires to waste into the infrastructure of parks and in the furniture of the infrastructure, which inspired me very much. I basically have a question. While preparing for the civil services, we basically interact with the peer aspirants, where we'll be sharing different purposes and different strategies to study, and the preparation style will be different. So I have a genuine question where which one is right to believe? How to have confidence upon our strategies and our preparation style, ma'am?
There is no right strategy. There are only rough guidelines. Some of you would have heard different comments about people telling you that I studied for 16 hours. I studied for 8 hours. There'll be people like me who will say that I have studied for 5, 6 hours. It depends on, it's not that we are brilliant or this is the right way of doing it. That's not the right way. All three are correct. Why? Because it differs on your way of reading, your way of grasping, your way of understanding things. If you read fast, you are grasping fast, and you know that I can read a lot of chapters within 3 4 hours. Then your strategy is for 3 4 hours of preparation. If you think I'm a person who has to read for 16 hours, struggle very hard to understand concepts, then you have to do it for 16 hours. If you think, okay, I'm midway, I'll take breaks, I'll do something else, then I'll come back, I'll do it for 8 9 hours, but I still grasp and I'm able to put it on paper, then 8 9 hours is your strategy. So that is what your strategy is tuned to you. How you have developed as a person so far. Many people ask me, I cleared the exam in my first attempt, but with very less hours of preparation. I was working in some other job and then I was preparing. So when I cleared the exam, it was very easy for me for the prelims. Then even I did not fully believe myself at that time that I will clear. I thought I'll just give it as a example, let me see what happens, and next year I'll give the full attempt. That was my thought process. So when I cracked the prelims, I thought, then I sat down seriously and thought about why I cracked it. Then I realized that it was very easy for me because I had economics, public administration. These were my optionals in my graduation. So it was easy, those sectors taken care of. Apart from that, I never used to sleep without reading 2 newspapers, even normally. when I was not thinking of the civil services also. So that helped. It subconsciously helped me. And then the third thing was I like professional quizzing. So I used to quiz myself. I used to be very interested in finding the right answers. Even my puzzles were all quizzes. So that is how it helped me crack the exam easily. So that's when I realized I already have some tools at my disposal, which I had just honed and used within those few hours that I had. That's how you should plan. That's how you should think of. If you think, okay, I was, then when it came to mains also, I cleared it with this less time of preparation. Again, I realized that I was an art student. So it was easy for me to encapsulate my answers and write. I didn't really need to think about a lot about how I'm going to make it into the word limit or into the question papers that I had. So that's how you should think. Can I do this? If writing is your problem, you need to work on it. If remembering a lot of facts is your problem, you need to work on it. Again, there are strategies of memorizing. All of you know. You can do some analogies. You can do some short forms. You can create a new word out of it and then remember those, or you have cards, flashcards, you read with them. So depends on your strategy, depends on the person that you are. If you know I have this kind of habit, then it's easier. If you're totally a non art student, you have never done a lot of writing, reading in the generic subjects, then you need to redo your whole thinking, and you need to think, okay, I need a longer preparation time, because I need to get into that mode. I need to get into that mode of thinking. That's how you should plan. I hope I'm clear.
And ma'am, sorry for interrupting, but what is that one belief which helped you reach your destination soon?
My common belief, like I said, when I chose this exam, I already had a career outside. So it was not about having a job, having a career, or having some salary. It was about choosing what I wanted to do as a person and what gives me satisfaction. So I realized that it gives me a lot of satisfaction to work on projects where there is a significant impact, and there's also a lot of public benefit to it. So that's where I realized I'm this kind of person who'll be happy when we do such kind of things. So that's when I decided to take the exam. That's what you should also decide.
And lastly, ma'am, thank you. Lots of love from Warangal district, madam. There are truly many of aspirants and civilians who are truly inspired by your work, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, ma'am. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
and all the very best to you.
Thank you for the inspiring session, ma'am. My name is Karthik Girada. I am from Srikakulam district, ma'am. In today's movies and web series, they often portray that bureaucrats must have take corruption or having political influence to survive or to work efficiently. Uh, from you working as a IAS officer for 15 years, how true is this perception, ma'am? And what is the actual ground reality, ma'am?
See, firstly, I think it is always in popular culture, that is in your movies and all, you always are portraying politicians as bad. But they're all people who are representing you, they're representing the society. They all come from whom you elect, right? So, why do you think they're bad? And life is, all of you know, all of you are just finishing your grad, so you'll all know that life is not white and black, it's gray. So it's always different shades of gray. So nobody is bad. And especially, this is a misnomer that politicians are bad, they are power hungry, they are money hungry. No, there are many who are, unless they satisfy the electorate they come from, unless they satisfy the people that they're working for, they'll not be there after 5 years. So they are also working for group of people who have supported them. They're working for people of their constituency, of their areas. So once you start thinking that, then you realize that whatever they ask is not wrong. You may come to me tomorrow and you say that, let's say you have some eye problem, you have a sight, but you want a driving license badly. What do you try to do? You will yourself go and say, okay, I'll try some for some agent who knows somebody. Will you make this attempt or not? All of you. You will. So why do you want to do that? Corruption or not of it is not something which you attribute to a few people. It is a society. If none of you decide to break a traffic rule, why do we need traffic police? Do we? And what is the traffic policeman doing? Finally, trying to save your life. Trying to see that you don't go into an accident, right? So why do we need regulation if our society is perfect? Because someone's trying to break the rule somewhere, it happens. And because you'll be in a powerful post, there'll be more such pressures. More such things will happen. They will come, they will say this. What do? That's where your moral compass is. That's what it is called. What you want to do, is it helping a lot of people? See, when we do land acquisition is something which a lot of officers do. You must have heard about it. When we do that, let's say we're taking land from someone to build a road, build a dam, build a public infrastructure. So it's your private property. We're giving you some compensation and we're taking your land to develop something for the larger good. So ultimately, maybe one poor person is actually losing their home, yes? And home is always sentimental, how much ever money you give, how much ever benefits you get. Because that person has to go and find some other, totally uproot their lives and live somewhere else. But do we stop not acquiring that one person's home to build a road for 100 people or 1,000 people or 10,000 people? What do we do? What will you do?
Basically, I'll convince that person, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what we all try to do. But some people will not be convinced. They will still think you have done something wrong to them. You must have affected their interest wrongly. But finally, again, where the topic of your moral compass comes, you're doing something for the larger good. So that's what you do in this job. So the choices and responsibilities are tough. You have to be tough on some people. Sometimes you see on TV that there are a lot of evictions happening, or there is a lot of some JCBs going and removing something. But you don't hear the back end story that this is obstructing justice for a lot more other people. So that's how it is. That's how you have to think. And it's a very tough responsibility. That's why this job is tough. Because you have to balance out one person versus a project which will help 1,000 people, 10,000 people. Or few people versus a lot of people. When the Nagarjuna Sagar Dam was built, what happened? There were almost some 40,000 people who were displaced in that area. But today, it helps a lot more other people. So it's helped generations of people, in fact. And it has shaped the geography of that area also. So that's how things you have to plan, and you have to. So you realize, okay, fine, I'm trying to convince, I'm trying to give. But even if you give maximum, some people will not be happy. And there'll always be people, once a society is like that, corruption and all will stem from the society itself. If there's nobody offering a bribe, where is the question of someone taking it? Right? So because someone's offering, they will tell. What happens if, why do we have begging when many people do not give? Some are giving. Some think for whatever reason we are giving. So it happens. So that is how it is. It's not necessarily bad that you will have a lot of pressure, but because you decide on a lot of things, you'll have a lot more pressure than a smaller employee. Everyone will have it. But that's how it is. If you are an HR in some private company, can happen to you also. Someone was telling me that, in a supermarket chain, there's nothing to do with government. In a private supermarket chain, if you have to put your products onto the shelf, there'll be 100 of you saying that my product should be on this shelf. So there's one person who chooses, your production manager or sourcing manager, they call. So how does he choose? Equivalent products, rice of the same type of rice, say Sona Masuri rice. So X is producing, Y is producing, Z is producing. How do you choose? Partiality, you'll call it? Or you'll call it corruption? So that's how that terminology itself is misinterpreted like that. Are you clear? Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
I do have a few questions from online, ma'am. People who could not attend, so I'll ask. But to begin with, there's a very, I think, cliched question. What inspired you to become a civil servant? One thing probably that strikes most.
Like I said, two things actually. One is the diversity of this job. You're never bored. You're never doing repetitive things. You're not doing the same thing over and over again like your other jobs. And you always have something new to look forward to. Today you're here, tomorrow you will be doing something else. So that's the challenge. That's both an opportunity as well as a limitation, because if you think I'm a long-term person, I need to do a lot of long-term planning. I have some 10-year plan, 20-year plan. That may not work in this job. But if you're a person who's doing something wherever you are, that works. So that is the personality type that I have. So I realized it after some time, and then I took the civil service exam. And the second thing which will inspire you, like I said, is I ultimately sat down. I was in a private job. I sat down and I realized, what am I doing this for? So if it's just to increase my bank balance, have a good house, good 2 3 cars, or some lot of properties, I can very well do any private job, any job which is good for my personal growth. But again, a job which will leave a lasting impact, a job which will change a lot of lives, that's only civil services, is what I thought, and that's when I realized that I have to take this exam.
Thank you, ma'am. There's one question from Mr. Nitish Kumar Narayanpet, ma'am. And there are a lot of questions. I'm only picking which are related to governance rather than preparing civils. How does a typical day for a district collector look like?
Oh, it's very random, very unplanned and unprepared in some ways. But the prepared part is, what I do is, we have around 60 departments which we have to review and we supervise and take care of. So in a month, I stagger two of these departments. I take stock of what they're doing, and that is one thing constant on my calendar. And the next thing which I personally like to do, and it's a part of your job also, but some do it more, some do it less, is I try to cover any educational institution or have an educational activity that like I have with you today, and see if I can do something better in that school, college, Anganwadi, whatever hostel. These are the institutions, hospital that I go. These are our field visits. So I go to one of the field visits in the morning. Then I do one or two reviews with each department, and then generally there are a lot of other unplanned things which will happen. Some emergency may happen. Like recently we had the RTC strike going on, so we had to deal with that. Before that there was the gas, the shortage of fuel. So we were trying to handle how to manage it better, how to ensure that there is no shortage for individuals. And again there was, in between that also, again there were auto drivers who were suffering because the fuel shortage is there. It's still there and we are still trying to manage. So these kind of emergency situations happen, these kind of emergency works will happen. And then there'll be some routine works where ministers will review, or there'll be higher level officers will be reviewing things, so they will also do reviews at their level. So those are the things that we need to handle. And then there will be public interface. Every Monday we have a lot of public who come to this very hall, and they all talk to us about their problems and how we solve them. Apart from that, the public is also coming daily to our offices. So in the evenings we try to take whoever is coming to represent their issues, and whatever issues represented, how best you can solve it. Is there a system? So you've heard of the WhatsApp grievance system that we have introduced in Hyderabad. So earlier it was all physical. We used to get papers, they'll give us some slip, we'll write something on it to go, this department has to take action on this. Then that department will probably take it, or sometimes the paper may get lost. So these are the things that you need to do governance reforms at your level. So what I have done is I have just ensured that everything is scanned, kept online, and no complaint is lost. So if you say that I have a problem, I did not get my pension, I did not get a house, I did not get some of the benefits that I need to, we know that it's dragged, it's going down the ladder, to whoever is working on that, and we ensure that it comes back to us and the person who's asked for the complaint. So that takes a lot of time, public interface, because a lot of people have varied kind of complaints. But that also is about public service delivery, and that's a part of your job. So major part is that, and the better you do it, the better it is that the government is working for the people, and we ensure service delivery.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
First of all, thank you. I was given last attempt,
Okay.
but I got 73 marks on prelims, ma'am.
Okay.
I lost it by 10 marks. I am going to give this attempt by before next 1 month. What is the tips for exam and more? How can I get more confidence?
Did you analyze where you failed last time?
Yeah, ma'am.
So you were sure you know what are the points you failed on?
Yeah, ma'am. I wrote it in my book, ma'am. Where I got lost confidence on which topics.
So either was it timing of writing the exam during the exam, or was it preparation itself?
Preparation.
So preparation itself, you just have 1 month. That means you need to do a lot of practice. You need to understand where you have failed. Either you are not timing yourself well, or which are the subjects that you did not do well. You have an idea in that.
I have an idea.
So those subjects you focus on. Your strength you already know. So what is your weakness? You work on them. And practice more. At this last stage, don't read more. Whatever you have read only, you have to practice. Your notes, revise, and practice. Do some mock tests, but don't do too many mocks. See, what happens is one day your mood is good, next day your mood is bad, and if you do your mocks badly, you'll feel let down before the exam. You should have done it last few months before the exam. But now that you're doing it, just do a lot of revision, focus on your weak areas, and try to do some practice, like every weekend, two papers or something like that.
My question to you is that, ma'am, how did you stay consistent even after having a long day? I mean, you already had a job, right?
It's tough, ma. It's tough to stay consistent. But over a time, this is what you call as work ethic. Once you start developing, so I don't feel good if I leave any of unfinished work on my table for a long time. So I start thinking that okay, whatever I have planned at the end of the day, I should just close my work for 1 hour. So maybe between 6, 7, or a little later, till 8ish. I ensure that I complete my work and go. So if you leave a lot of unfinished tasks, they pile up. So whatever you can, I do have some very busy days and some off days. So I balance out by putting all my tasks which are routine kind of tasks for my off days. And in my busy days, I really can't do anything except the emergency works. So that's how you have to plan out. It depends on, again, differs from each job to job. Like this is known as a field job, so I have to be more outside, more out in different areas. So it takes a lot of travel time for me. But if I'm in the secretariat, it's more of a desk job. So you have to plan out your job according to the place that you're posted in. So if it's because it's Hyderabad, at least I'm sure I'm coming back on time. But if it is some place like Narayanpet or Nalgonda, which were my previous districts, there you have to plan your journey time also. You're going to some place to solve a problem and then coming back. So that entire journey you have, so either you work on your laptop or you do your work on your phones. So you decide and do that. So that's how you need to plan as per the situation. My prep, when I given my first attempt, at that time I was working. So I did not have a lot of time to prepare. So I was reading in lunch break, different break times, and different phases wherever I had time. So that is what you need to work out. So it depends on your situation. If you think I'm fully in the preparation, then you'll have you'll have a lot of self doubts during preparation. You'll think whether I can do this, I can't do this. I'm not made for it. It is made for some people who are super committed, super intelligent, or super efficient with their work. You'll have all these self doubts. But that you should not let that get to you. So at that time, just close your books, take a walk, do some activity, and come back, and then start again.
Okay, ma'am, thank you for your time. All of us are glad to meet you. We feel so blessed to see you.
Thank you, thank you. That's sweet of you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Ma'am, with this, we formally conclude the Q&A session. Ma'am, thank you once again for your time, your wisdom, and your inspiring responses. I'm certain that each one of us today are living with greater clarity, motivation, and purpose. So if you please allow me the honor of presenting the vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, Madam Srimati Chandana IAS, for taking time out of her demanding schedule and sharing such invaluable insights with all of us today. Your words will continue to inspire every aspirant present here, ma'am. Thank you so much. I also extend sincere thanks to ma'am's team, administration officer for their support and coordination in making this event possible. And especially to all of you, to all the participants, thank you for your enthusiastic presence and engagement. So thank you once again. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so much for your time once again, ma'am. Thank you.